Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Tandorio 50F. That's not really its reference number because Tandorio doesn't have reference numbers, so I'm just calling it a 50F. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm still wearing this Squally by golly, the 1521. I really like it. This is definitely becoming one of my favorite watches. And Greg was wearing my Rolls Teamy 128. Grogo said that all the students at the Jedi Academy are planning their Halloween costumes, and Wampy the Wampa went up to Master Skywalker and said, "You killed my father, prepare to die." Master Skywalker said, "Oh, you're dressing up as Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride." Wampy said, "Who's that? You literally killed my father, prepare to die." Alright, let's get the box open. Tandorios always come in this box. At least they do now. A long time ago they came in them plastic ones. But here it is, the Tandorio 50F. And of course, it looks like a Blancpain 50 Fathoms. But I really like it. I've been very pleased with this watch. I've had quite a few Tandorios on my channel, but I'm pretty sure that this is my first 50 Fathoms homage. The 50 Fathoms has the honor of being the first modern dive watch as it came out before the Submariner. The 50 Fathoms used to be a basic tool watch, but during the quartz crisis, Blancpain went the route that all Swiss automatic watches are luxury watches, and now you can't buy one of them for less than 10 grand. There is a Swatch collaboration if you want to spend 400. If authenticity isn't important, this Tandorio is quite affordable at just over $60 for the NH35 powered version. If 4 Hertz is important to you, for about $30 more, you can get the PT 5000 version. Personally, a PT 5000 just seems unnecessary on a watch like this, but you spend your money however you want. This watch comes in black. If you don't like black, then you better choose a different watch. However, you do have quite a few choices when it comes to the dials. They even have one with the California dial and another with cathedral hands. I chose the one with the fake moisture indicator because I just like the look. I usually don't like fakery on my watches, but rules were meant to be broken. The watch is 40 millimeters wide at the bezel, and it looks like the bezel's flush with the case, so the case is too. It's 50.5 millimeters lug to lug, so the lug to lug's kind of big for a 40 millimeter. It's 13.8 millimeters thick if you count this dome box crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width. It weighs 94 grams on the supply canvas strap. The bezel is 120 click unidirectional, and the action's excellent. No back play. And the insert is ceramic, or at least I think it's ceramic. It's definitely not aluminum. And everything lines up just great. And the bezel's fully loomed, as you'll see later in the loom test, but it's not the best loom, I'll let you know that. And then we have the dial. The dial's a flat black, no sunburst effect. And then we have the minute markers, and then we have the indices, and we got Fotina indices. And we have batons at the 3, 6, and 9, and then we have this diamond kind of shape at the 12, and dots everywhere else. Then we have the Tandorio name and logo up top printed. And then we have the fake moisture indicator. On a real 50 Fathoms, they did a mil-spec version that had this moisture indicator, and if moisture got into your watch, the indicator would change colors. I'm 99.9999% sure that this is strictly decorative. I just like the look, though, and I got it anyway. And then we have the hands. We have fence post minute and hour hand, and then we have a spear tip second hand. And there is no date, but there is a ghost date because this is an NH35 movement, not an NH38. Then we have the crown. The crown's an unsigned screw down, but it's so tiny. This is the smallest crown I've probably ever seen on a dive watch. Really small. And so when you go to thread it back in, it's really hard to get a grip. So not very pleased with the crown. I wish it was much bigger. I mean, not just a little bit bigger, but much bigger. And I don't remember what the crown looks like on a real 50 Fathoms, but if they're this small, then they need to be bigger too. Then we have the crystal. The crystal is a sapphire dome box crystal. And I don't see distortion, so it could be double domed. So the crystal is nice. Now there's quite a bit of reflection though. I don't think there's any AR coating, and just the simple fact that it's domed, you're just going to get a ton of reflection. But it's still a really nice crystal though. Shaped just really nicely shaped, and the fact that it's sapphire and it looks like it's acrylic, they did a good job with the crystal. Then we have the case. The case is wonderful. It's got a matte finish, and it's shaped really nicely, and the lugs slope down so it wears nice and flat to the wrist. One thing, as I mentioned before, though, the lugs are really long, and that's why you have such a big lug to lug. And since this is a strap-only watch, it would have been nice if the lugs were a hair shorter, because you do got quite a bit of gap there. And then we have the case back. Case back's a screw down, and there is no writing on it. You don't really need writing anyway, right? Because the case back is on your wrist, and you don't see it anyway. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is the go-to workhorse movement for watches in this price range. It's a 3 Hertz 24 joule movement that hand winds, hacks, and has a bidirectional rotor and about a 40-hour power reserve. And they're usually fairly accurate right off the shelf, but we'll put it on the time grapher and see if Tandorio regulated it. Here it is on the time grapher. As you can see, it's running pretty fast. 13, 14 seconds fast, and there's a little bit of beat error, 0.4 milliseconds. I have the lift angle set to 53, which is the right lift angle for an NH35. Amplitude's a little low too then. But at least it's fast and not slow. The nice thing about on a hacking movement, if it's fast, all you have to do is hack it and wait for time to catch up. Or a slow movement, you actually have to move the hands. The strap is canvas, and we do have drilled lugs, but no quick release. But the drilled lugs still make it easy to take off, if not so easy to put back on. And the strap is nice. It's sturdy, it's thick, it's substantial, has good stitching, and has these metal keepers and a nice buckle. The buckle's brushed though and not matte finished, so it doesn't match the case. It would have been nice if it was matte finished, but it's not. And plenty of notches, and they're nice and close together so you can get the good fit. So I like the strap. Here's the watch and my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. Wears nice and flat, light, comfortable, and I have plenty of notches left too, another 1.5 inches there, so you should be able to wear this for a 9-inch wrist. And here's the watch on a Tropic strap. I think that looks a little bit nicer. I think if I was to keep the watch, I'd probably keep it on this strap. Although a sailcloth strap would probably look pretty good too. And just because it's a dive watch doesn't mean you can't put it on leather. So here it is on a nice leather strap. That's got a good look too. I really like that. Here we are in the lume room. This watch has patina, which usually hurts lume. This watch also comes with a fully lume bezel, but after you see this test, they shouldn't even have bothered. As we speed up the time, we see a pretty good glow of C3, but the bezel is far behind the dial and is fading fast. The lume pip is barely better than the rest of the bezel. The dial is much better, and the major hands do slightly outperform the indices. The dial lume is decent, but a dive watch needs a lume pip that keeps up. Still not bad for a patina watch. What I like about this watch, it looks and wears nice. It has drilled lugs for easy strap changes. Excellent bezel action. And I really like this dome box crystal. What are my gripes and groans? This tiny little crown is really hard to operate. The lugs are a little long for a strap watch. And the bezel lume doesn't keep up with the dial. Do I recommend this watch? Sure, this watch is great. If you're looking for a 50 fathoms homage, I don't think you can do much better than this for the price. I just wish the crown was bigger. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Tandorio F50, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Actually, it's going to be an unboxing. I got something pretty good from AliExpress the other day. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a tiny commission, but those tiny commissions do add up. Bye.